There, me again. This episode will be called Foggy Brain or Brain Fog. Haven't decided yet. I'll figure out the title out later. The reason why I'm making it, a friend of mine used to live in a city in southwestern Ontario. I work with someone. I didn't know she had had a stroke until I had my stroke and posted on the infamous Facebook. The place where people that couldn't stand you in high school try to be your friends. Facebook, yes. Told me, hey, I had a stroke. Now I'm not sure the length or breadth of her first stroke, but she went and had to go move on the weekend and had another stroke. And so she pinged me on Facebook and goes, hey, did you have like a brain fog? And I went, yeah. So there was a 13-day gap between the first video where you saw my idiot cameraman who's now been fired make that max headroom video. That's the day, literally that was me getting out of the hospital. Right? And there's about a 13-day gap between that video and the first video in this stroke assaulter series. So I want to get into the Wayback Machine, or the TARDIS, and just let's talk about that first week after having a stroke. Because she asked me, hey, I kind of got a foggy brain thing going on. How long does that last? On an individual basis, Jamie, I'm going to be honest, I don't know how long yours is going to last. I can't speak to the individual. I can speak to me, right? About 7 days-ish. Heavy on the ish. The worst of it, like legitimately the worst of it, was about the first 5 days if memory serves. But then again, I'm a man who's had a stroke equals memory shot. Okay, so just... Anyways, about the first 5 days was the worst of it. Overall, about 7 to 9 days it lasted. Yeah, you're probably going to be easily confused. Your memory might be a bit unhelpful. It's going to feel like someone put a bowl of pea green soup into your brain, and just trying to think is difficult. Yeah. Been there, right? So if you happen to have just had a stroke, we're gonna, over the next couple of days, I'm gonna cover the "you just had a stroke," what to do. So if you've just had a stroke, please, let's talk about your brain fog. So one, you need to simplify your life, right? And I'm not talking about throw those things you don't need and move into a tiny house. No. One, don't make decisions you don't have to, right? What's for dinner? Who cares? Get someone else to figure that one out. Are you even going to go find your kitchen? Now, me, I'm single, I live alone, I didn't have much of a choice, I had to go find my kitchen from time to time. So, one, you're not going to a grocery store, right? Someone else can do that. I didn't have that luxury. I had to do my own shopping, right? And I learned, never give one of your best friends your debit card because you end up with size 2X women's pink plaid pajamas in the hospital. So at that point, I not only had a stroke, I had body image issues because, I'm not a 2X. I'm not a 16, Dave. I'm no bigger than a 12. Fuck you. So, foggy brain. One, don't make decisions you don't have to. Two, don't put yourself in situations that would be stressful or could become stressful, like people in crowds. Just ignore them, right? The only thing you need to do is, like, Orange is the New Black reruns and a bag of crisps on the couch, right? Or something, right? Just give your brain some bubble gum, right? And that's about as difficult as you need to make it. So another thing you can do is simply, you may have to limit how you have conversations with people. The first week or so after my stroke, I had to have people in front of me. I couldn't have someone off to the side over here and someone in front of me while having a conversation. So if I ever ended up in a group, I would keep moving my position so that everyone was in front of me, right? And that's just the way I had to do it. There may be other strategies that may be relevant for you that I might not have had to use or may not cover during this video, because these videos aren't meant to be the complete 100% user's guide to have had a stroke. That's because strokes are so unique, right? And again, as I've said before, your stroke may have symptomology that is almost identical to someone else, but there are going to be portions of your stroke and your rehab and your recovery that are definitively unique to you, right? Jamie, I'm sorry you have to go through this. I really am, right? It's like I said in a message, this is a very exclusive club. You don't get to choose to join, it chooses you. It's a club no one really wants to belong to, right? Let's be honest there. No one wants to belong to this club. So, limit your exposure to things, right? Try not to make decisions you don't have to. Try to avoid large crowds. Try to avoid a lot of noise. I appreciate the fact you may still have to go to work, right? But during the first week or so, yeah, my brain felt like someone poured pea soup into it, Not much I could do about it, right? Did it feel like some days I was literally just muddling through? Oh, completely. There were days where I felt useless. I'll just say it. There were days where I'm like, I cannot continue to live like this if this is the way I'm going to continue to live, right? To become easily frustrated, right? Because your brain is foggy. To forget conversations you had 10 minutes ago because your brain is foggy. To not know how to get someplace, even though you've been there before. And it's been in the exact same place it's been for the last 3 years. And 2 or 3 different ways to get to that place. But I couldn't tell you how to get there now. Right? To forget people's names. Right? I've ran into 2 or 3 people during the first week after my stroke. I ran into them into a store. And I'm like, I know who you are, but I don't know your name. That happened a couple of times. And it's embarrassing. Not only for them, but for me. Because I look like a dick. Who are you? I know who you are, but I don't know who you are. But I should know who you are, but I don't, right? So, that being said, during your first week or during your foggy brain component, just go low, slow, and easy, right? That's all I can suggest is don't put yourself in places where you could become easily confused. Don't put yourself into situations that you may become overstimulated. Avoid crowds, avoid noise, right? And find the people that you trust and love, right? And gather them around you and get them to do as much as they can, and then tell them you still need more, right? This is the time where you need to give your brain a break, right? Unfortunately, I didn't really get that opportunity. I had to fend for myself for part of that. It is what it is, right? But, 6 weeks ago, yesterday, I had my stroke. Yeah, the first 7 to 10 days sucked, right? Just sucked, right? That's all I've got to say about that. Just absolutely wretched, right? Best I can suggest is get as much sleep as you can, right? And I know that's really not a lot of help. I'm sorry. I wish I could give you more, James. Jamie, I really wish I could, right? But it's the best I got for you, my dear. However, it will get better, right? Day by day, right? And eventually, things may find normal, right? And they might even find back to what normal was before your stroke. Right? I just hope and pray that you get better. Well, on that note, if you happen to like what you've seen here over the last 6 weeks, please share this with your friends and please subscribe. Right, this is my journey of what's happened through my stroke, right, and then my rehab and recovery. Maybe it'll help someone during their journey. Next week, we're going to cover the stroke team and your stroke book, or better known as the user's guide to the brain that tried to kill you. And we're going to cover a few more things, maybe what happens in the first week after your stroke, right? Because I didn't really make any videos about that because I really couldn't. And if you don't like what you've been watching, yeah, just stop. right? Stop torturing yourself, because if you're watching this video, which is going to be the third one I'm going to post today, right? And you're into 42 days of watching these videos, yeah, dude, give your head a shake. There's at least 30 videos on my channel, right? I don't know the number exactly, but it's got to be at least 30. So, and if you happen to see either in yourself or someone around you the signs or symptoms of a stroke, that being a facial droop, slurred speech, stuttering, inappropriate word usage for a situation and context, inability to raise your arms either equally or at all, inability to stand unaided, weakness either generally on the body or weakness on one side, please immediately place that person in a position of comfort and dial 911. Something so simple could save a life.